Entonces, te sientes nervioso cuando vas a hablar en español con alguien. Sientes que te congelas, te sientes inseguro. It's normal. It's normal to freeze up when you go to speak Spanish with people. It's normal to feel nervous. I remember when I was learning Spanish and I would speak with people, my heart would go a million miles a minute. I would literally shake. So how do you get over this? Well, it's going to sound a bit silly, and I know this might not be the most popular advice, some secret sauce or a secret method, but the reality is you just need to speak more. You have to remember that when you go to speak in Spanish with someone, they are not going to judge you. They don't care. They're not going to laugh at you. They're not going to make fun of you. What ends up happening is that we project our own fear onto other people. No one cares that you have a bad accent. No one cares that you have bad Spanish. In fact, native speakers are going to hugely appreciate the fact that you are trying to speak with them in their mother tongue. It actually drives me a bit nuts when here in Mexico, I'm out and about and I hear foreigners not even trying to speak in Spanish with the locals. Not even an hola, not even a gracias. They just say hi and thank you. That is the wrong way to go about it. So if you are scared to speak in Spanish with people, I promise you that the way that you're going to get over this is simply by speaking with people and remembering that no one is here to judge you and no one is going to make fun of you. Imagine if a non-native English speaker were to come up to you and say, hey, do you know where how do I say that? Can't remember. Oh yeah, the bathroom. Do you know where that is? Do you think that you would make fun of them because they don't speak English to a high level or because they have a bad accent? Of course not. You're going to want to help them and say, oh yes, hey, cool, where are you from? Oh wow, your English is great, you're doing a great job. You're not going to make fun of them or laugh at them. Now, I'd like to share a personal story that I don't think I've shared here on this channel. When I was a young boy, I got appendicitis and I had to have my appendix removed. A few years after this surgery, I suffered from a lot of anxiety and panic attacks. A big reason for this, maybe because the drugs that I was given as a young child had kind of messed with my brain, but during this time, I felt like a burden to everyone else, and I felt like everyone hated me. I felt like people just were always judging me and that I wasn't enough. The reality is, none of that was true, but I was excellent at creating these false stories in my head about what other people were thinking about me, when in reality, none of it was true. I was projecting my own fear onto these other people. We do the same thing when it comes to speaking Spanish. We say, oh, well, they're going to think my accent is super bad, or they're not going to understand me, so you know what? I'm just not even going to try. You are making a huge mistake by not going out into the world and practicing your Spanish people because you're too afraid. I promise you. Put yourself out there, speak with people. People are going to want to help you. And the more and more you do this, the more and more comfortable you are going to become. Now, you might be wondering, how do I initiate a conversation in Spanish? What I personally used to do when I was back in the States and I was working at an ice cream shop, for example, is two things. A customer would come in, I would hear them speaking in Spanish, and I would say, oh, hey, I heard you speaking Spanish. Would you mind if I practice with you? Oh, of course, absolutely. And then we'd have a conversation. Maybe I'd feel nervous at first, but the more and more we spoke, the more and more comfortable I became. The other thing that I would do is I would say, hey, and this might seem a little offensive at first, but I would say, hey, I noticed you had a slight accent in English. Do you speak another language? Oh, yeah, I speak Spanish. Oh, hey, I'm actually learning. Would you mind if I practice with you? That's another thing I would do. And speaking Spanish out in the real world is kind of like giving a presentation at school, right? If you are well prepared for that presentation, you feel more comfortable. And if you're not well prepared, well, maybe you don't feel as comfortable. However, the second that you start giving that presentation, it's very common that those nerves calm way down. I promise you, just start speaking, just get out there. No worries, people aren't going to judge you, people aren't going to make fun of you. You can do this, and I hope that this advice helped. I know it's not the craziest advice, and I know this is a very casual format of video, but put yourself out there. Don't be afraid. You got this. Tú puedes. Muchas gracias por ver este video. Espero que te haya ayudado. If you'd like to learn more Spanish from me, click the link in the video description to check out our Fluent Spanish Speaker Academy. Our goal is to help you have a 10-minute conversation in Spanish in 90 days without feeling unconfident. So you can check it out by clicking the link in the video description. Muchas gracias. Hasta luego.